Hi everyone, my name is Pia and I am your new host for the podcast In Your Own Words. So this is my first episode. I'm just going to get into a little bit about what our podcast is, and I'm hoping you guys enjoy it, and I hope you listen and take something from it, hopefully. So our podcast is based on this whole idea of discussing stereotypes and hopefully breaking them down. There are so many people who have interesting stories to tell, and they haven't been given the chance. There are so many stories that the mainstream media don't really want to promote or show, or don't really show a side of what they want. As we know, a lot of things are biased in life. So hopefully our podcast can bring to you new stories from around Manchester, really. And I hope that these stories really resonate within you guys. I hope that you take something away from it. Even if you don't, I think just listening to each other brings this whole idea of unity. And I will be mentioning unity a lot. I know I will. I've written it on a lot of my different pages as well, if you read about me, this whole idea of unity. But I was saying one thing that I've really learned from life and like from my experiences, which I will get into later, but this whole idea of empathy, I really want to promote it. I feel like nowadays in the society that we live in, we do lack empathy a lot, and I'm hoping that by sharing our own stories, we can create this sense of belonging to one another. These little boxes that we've put ourselves in, I'm hoping that we can maybe break them down and just see each other for what we are, which is just lovely, lovely humans who have boxed ourselves off. But I'm hoping that will change. And I'm hoping that you guys that are here listening want to change that as well. You are the key to all of this, not just me. We've all got our own stories to tell. And I hope afterwards that you will all share yours. So this podcast will definitely shock you, even though it is lighthearted. We'll be having a lot of great guests, but there will be opinions that you'll think, ooh, is that right? Is that wrong? Or just interesting from the people that it's coming from. But again, as I've learned, especially being here in the Common Sense, is that there's not just one type of person, one type of thinking. And like, especially nowadays with students, a lot of people think that we're all quite liberal, but we're not. We all have differing opinions. We all have different situations. And I want you guys to be open to understanding them. That's my key thing. I want us to all be open to understanding where everyone's coming from. Again, I think we can be quite defensive, which obviously we all like to be a bit of a bad bitch. We always like to have that personality, but I'm hoping that we can break that down a little bit and just learn to understand each other and then really listen to where we're all coming from. So, that's a bit about the podcast. Just really getting to know people's stories and promoting them. But before we get into hearing people's really great stories, I was hoping to speak a little bit about my own. I think that I should probably introduce you guys to me a little bit more so that you get a feel for me and just my story. So like I said, my name's Pia. I come from Coventry. It's funny actually, because I was speaking to my friends and a lot of them think I'm from London, and I get really gassed by that. I get really happy. I'm like, yeah, I'm from London. No, I'm from Coventry. The ends. Also, if there are people listening to the podcast that are thinking in their head Coventry and they do that little voice with it, Coventry is a really great place. We are the city of culture. So I hope that changes your mind, and I hope you go there someday because we have a lot of great things. But yes, I was born in Coventry in what might say is the dodgy ends, but I had an amazing childhood, a great childhood. I had all my family around me, and it was just such a good upbringing, such a nice upbringing. Definitely when I was growing up in regards to this podcast or where I was coming from, I had a lot of stereotypes about people, But throughout my years, throughout school, throughout uni, there's definitely been so many various people that I've met, that I've gotten to know, and yeah, definitely I have a new outlook of life that I'm hoping to share with all of you. So I'm going to talk about 3 moments that have really changed my life and almost made me into a whole different person and the Pia that you're listening to right now. So I would say number one, the most recent. I'm gonna go in a different order. I'm not gonna go from youngest to oldest, but I'll go from the most recent event. Is definitely my internship with the YMCA. The amount of different people that I've met has been so amazing, and my biggest takeaway from it is that volunteering experiences are so valuable. I've come to the conclusion that hopefully everyone feels the same way, but I feel such a sense of happiness when I'm doing any sort of volunteering. The people you meet, like the stereotypes, I'd like you all to take a minute and think about the stereotypes that you have when you think of, like, I don't know, just any, like, kids at the YMCA, let's say. Because maybe I didn't have a perception, but I had a sort of idea going into it. But I recently started doing like videos with these kids. I got them to talk about the pandemic and how they felt. And it was so lovely to see all of them talking like a family and just really promoting, again, that whole idea of unity between them. And they were so well spoken and they were such lovely kids. And this idea that what has been given to them is so different to that actual atmosphere in these places. And that really taught me that what we know, like our almost reality of these situations, is so different to actually what is going on. And we need to go out of our comfort zones to find out how these like places operate and these people and their stories. And yeah, it was just a really interesting experience. It was just a really interesting experience to be there and to get to know these like kids. Loads of them have such amazing ideas of what they want to do in life, and they will get there, but they just need a little bit of help to get there. But that is definitely one experience where I've really felt like, wow, my whole worldview has just changed in terms of how I've felt about people and coming into different organizations. It's definitely given me a new appreciation for charity organizations as well. It's just, yeah, given me that sense of happiness that I know we are all looking for in times that is really stressful and hard, especially if there's students listening, if there's people that are working. There is definitely some sort of stress going on in your life. This, I assure you, will bring some sort of like, just a little bit of like goodness to your day. Secondly, do you know what? Can I just say, everyone listening, this is really hard. I was told to do this this meet me host first session with you guys, and it's really hard to talk about yourself, isn't it? Like, I don't know if you guys feel that as well, but it's almost like you don't know what to say. You could be the most interesting person, but as soon as someone's like, okay, like, talk about yourself, tell us your story, you sort of have a minute and you sit there and you think, what is my story? Like, what have I actually done? Where have I come from? What am I doing? And that is exactly how I feel with this. So I'm sorry if I come across just a little bit like, just a little bit thinking about everything and deeping it, because I'm trying to still think, like, what is my story? What's really affected me? Because there have been lots of situations, but it's just interesting, isn't it? What you think is like valuable to tell people or not. And also the perception of what you guys think of me. I would say my second biggest experience in regards to like the stereotypes is definitely, so I am a third year law student, and last year I was volunteering with the courts that I have, and it was such an interesting experience to see these people from quite deprived areas come in. So my role there was to just help them with writing down almost like signposting them to different organizations that they needed, with cuts to legal funding as well. they have to go through a whole new process to see if they're eligible for money. So it was just to help them see if they're eligible, help them fill in like their reports or their court documents that come in, or if they just need, I suppose, like just general advice on how to deal with like the process. So that was my role there. But often we'd have a lot of people coming in, and their stories were so heartbreaking to me. Like, especially, again, I want you to take a moment to think of what you think of those in like almost like a lower class background, your stereotypes of that, because I almost certainly did have like a stereotype of what I thought these people like, especially like these white males that are coming in, these like single fathers. But they did come in and my whole perception changed. Like, these fathers were coming in that just wanted to see their children, and it was heartbreaking to see them. It was heartbreaking to see as well, like, that they didn't have the ability or the facilities to be able to see them or deal with like the court proceedings that were going on. And it almost changed my outlook on everything in life, and especially the law. That's one thing that shaped me. I may be doing law, but one thing I've found, I don't think I'm radical to say this at all, but I don't think the law has helped in certain areas than it should. I'm going a little bit mellow with this when I say, because I don't want people to listen to this and then be like, okay, like she hates the law. That's not what I'm saying. I've just found that, and there's a lot of people that don't get the help that they need. And so we're all stuck in this rut of trying to get to places that we can't because we don't have legal backing on our side. These people, you know, they just want a chance to something as simple as seeing your kid, and they have to go through a whole process of being able to do that. And yeah, that was just heartbreaking to me, but it very much like changed my whole outlook on life. A third thing, I'm just trying to think of a third thing. This is really hard, guys. I keep on saying that, I'm sorry. A third thing that's changed my perception in life. You know what? Sixth form. I'm going to give a shout out to my lovely, lovely friend group in sixth form. They are the most beautiful, liberal people that I've ever met, and they have changed my outlook on so much in life in terms of the LGBT community. We've had great discussions on like being mixed race or being Asian in this society, or even like black, and all that's come from that. And they have taught me so much in life. And they are the reason why I am so open as a person today to all these different groups. There are so many experiences that they've told me about where I've been shocked at what's been going on, or like how they perceive the world or how the world perceives them. And yeah, I think they are a big influence in how I look at certain groups or why I can be so understanding towards certain people. And I hope that actually throughout my episodes that I can bring in some of their stories to show to you, so that you can also, I suppose, become a little bit more open-minded. Because I don't think that's a bad thing. I know there are a lot of people that are closed off, but trust me, when you become open-minded a little bit more, you get a new sense of the world around you. You get a new happiness. And I can't lie, you do become a nicer person, I think, in a sense. Or that's my opinion of it anyway. You guys might disagree with me, and that's completely fine. But yeah, I would like to give a shout out to my friends. So they are the 3 things that have changed my perception of the world. There are many more, and I hope they come across in some of the later episodes, but they are the 3 things that I will stick for now. So I hope I hope that you guys have liked to get to know me a little bit, and I hope that that's a nice taster session for you guys to carry on listening to our episodes. So thank you very much, and I will speak to you guys later.
Again.